Hey, hello guys. Today we're gonna continue yesterday's book. So the title is Nine Suggestion on how we can get how how to get the most out of this book. If you wish to get the most out of this book, there is one indisciplinable, indispensable requirement, one essential, infinitely more important than the rule or technique. Unless you have the one fundamental requisite, a thousandth rule on how to study will avail little, and if you do have this cardinal endowment, then you can achieve wonders without any suggestion for getting the most of this book. What is the magical requirement? Just this: a driving, deep driving desire to learn, the vigorous determination to increase your ability to deal with people. How can you develop such urge? By constantly reminding yourself how important these principles are to you. Power to prepare yourself, how their mastery will aid you leading a richer, fuller, happier, and more fulfillment life. You say to yourself, over my popularity, my happiness, and my sense worth depends on the small extent upon my skill is dealing with the people. Second, read each chapter rapidly at first to get a bird's-eye view of it. You will probably be tempted then to rush on the next one, but don't unless you read the merely of entertainment merely for entertainment. But if you wish you're reading because you want to increase your skill in human relations, then go back and reread reread each chapter thoroughly. In the long run, this will mean having time and getting the result. Stop frequently in your reading to think over what you're reading. Ask yourself just how and when you can apply its suggestions. Read with crayon, pencil, pen, magic marker, or highlighter in your hand. When you come across a suggestion that you feel you can use a raw line beside it. If there is a 4-star suggestion, then underscore every sentence, highlight it on, or mark it with 4-star. Marking and underscoring our book makes it more interesting and far easier to review rapidly. I know the woman who had been office manager for large insurance concern for 50 years. Every month she read all insurance, contact her company. She read all insurance, contact her company, and her issues a month. Yes, she read many of the same contract over month after month, year after year. Why? Because experience had taught her that was the only way she could keep their provisions clearly in mind. I was spent almost 2 years writing a book in public speaking, and yet I found I had to keep going back over it from time to time in rapid to remember what I written in my own book. The rapidity with which forget is astonishing. So if you want to get real listen benefit out of this book, don't imagine that skimming through it once will suffice. After reading thoroughly, you will ought to spend few hours reviewing it every month. Keep it in your desk in front of every day. Glance through it often. Keep constantly impressing yourself with the rich possibilities for improvement that still lies in us offering. Remember that use of this principle can be made habitual only by constant and vigorous Campaign of ribbon application. There is no other way. Binary show once remark if you Bernard Shaw once remarked, if you teach a man anything, he will never learn. Shaw was right. The learning is an active process. You learn by doing. So if you desire to master a principle you are studying in this book, do something about them. Apply this rule every opportunity. You, if you don't, you will forget them quickly. Only knowledge that used to stick in your mind. You will probably find it difficult to apply this suggestion all the time. I know because I wrote this book, yet frequently I found difficult to apply everything I advocate. For example, when you are displaced, it is much easier to criticize and condemn than it is to try to understand the other person's viewpoint. It is frequently easier to find fault than find praise. It is more natural to talk about what you want than to talk about what other people want, what other person want, and so on. So as you read this book, remember that you are only merely trying to acquire the information. You're attempting to form a new habits. Yes, you are attempting to new way of life. There will be required time and persistence in daily application. Persistence and daily applications refer to these pages often regard this as working handbook on human relation, and whenever you are confront with some specific problem such as handling a child, bringing your spouse to your way of thinking, satisfying the irritated customers, hesitate about doing the natural thing, impulsive things. This is usually wrong. Instead, turn this page and review the paragraphs you have underscore. Then try this new way and watch them achieve magic for you. Often your spouse, your child, or business associate time or dollar every time she catch you violating certain principle. Make a lively game out of mastering this rule. The president of important fall of street once described in a talk before one of my class. The highly sophisticated system he used for self-improvement. This man had little formal schooling, yet he had become one of the most important financiers in America, and he confessed that he owes most of the success to the constant application of a home system. This is what he does. I will put into this his own word as accurately as I can remember. For a year, I had kept an engagement book showing all the appointments I had during the day. My family never made my plans for me on Sunday night. Our family know that I devoted a part of each Sunday evening to the illuminating process of a self-examination and review the appraisal. After dinner, I went out by myself, open my engagement book and through over all interview discussion and meeting that had taken place during this week. During the week, I asked myself what mistake I did. What mistake did I make at that time? What did I do that was right? And what what way could I have improved my performance? What lesson I can learn from the experience. I often found this weekly review made me very unhappy. I I was frequently astonished my own blunders. Of course, as the year passed, the blunders become less frequent. Sometimes I was inclined to pat myself on the back a little after one of these sessions. This stream of self-analysis, self-education continued year after year. I did more of my did more for my did more for me than any other one thing I have to attempt. I even attempt. I have played in most of my ability to make decisions. I err me enormously in all contact with people. I cannot reconnect it to highly. Why not use a similar system to check up your application of principle discussed in the book? If you do two things will result. First, you will find yourself engaged in education process that both integrity and priceless. Second, you will find that your ability to meet and deal with the people grow enormously. You will find at the end of this book several blank pages which help to record your dreams and application of this principle. Be specific, give name, date, result. Keep such a record will inspire you to great efforts. And how fascinating this entries will be when you chance upon some even a year from now. In order to get most of this book, develop a deep dive, desire, master principle of human relation. Read each chapter twice, going on the next one. Before going to next one, as you read, stop frequently to ask yourself how you can make each suggestion. Apply each suggestion and underscore each important idea. Review this book each month. Okay, apply this principle at every opportunity. Use this volume as a working handbook and help you solve your daily problems. Make a lively game out of your learning and offering some friends a time or dollar every time he or she catches you violating one of these principles. Check up and make a lively game out of your learning by offering some friends a dime or dollar every time he or she catches you violating one of these principles. Check up each week on progress you are making. Ask yourself what mistake you have made, what improvement, what lesson you have learned from the future. I keep notes in the back of this book showing how and when you have applied this principle. Okay, that's for today.